Confidants, what is your profession? See my friend, nothing but soldiers and empowerment over here.
Pop that cork, let it rain, living lavish, no restraint.
My fellow white people, you are not an ally if black men and black women are telling you that they are not going to protest on April 5th because it will put their lives in harm's way, and you throw a tantrum. Saying, oh, we all have to work together. Shouldn't we all come together, we the people? Don't you care about the future, about the children, about the time to come together was at the election. We failed them. So now their rest is their resistance, and they are staying home and staying safe as they should, because their lives are too precious to put on the line. And what would cost me and people who look like me getting yelled at or at the worst tear gassed, which isn't likely, would cost them their physical lives. And they've already been giving those lives for centuries in this country for all the rights that we enjoy. So it is our turn to step up and to speak up. And honestly, if you're telling them that they should go to that protest, you're an op and not an ally.
When cruelty is ignored, tyranny always follows. If you're not paying attention to what's happening in our country right now because it doesn't affect you, or if you're cheering for what's happening in our country right now because you think that we're better than other people, that your life has more value than an immigrant or a person of color or a member of the LGBTQ community, I have news for you. This will come back to you. The scapegoat doesn't stop at the person that you don't like. When all of that group is gone, they have to find another group to make an example of. It's how they keep us distracted and divided and fighting, so we don't realize what the real problem is. Them. It's a tale as old as time. The rich always want to maintain power and control and hoard as many of the resources as they can. As long as they can keep us fighting with each other, they hold all the cards. And their biggest fear is that we wake up and realize the game. And it may be just a game to them, but their game involves countless human lives that they play around with and destroy on a daily basis. We're all made of the same flesh and bone. We all have the same basic human needs. The one thing that separates us is class. That wealthy 1%, that high upper class, has some of you fooled into believing that one day you could be like them. And that's how they earn your support and your vote and your sympathy, while they give you scraps. And when they find that you're no longer useful, just like the immigrant, that illegal immigrant that they've convinced you is the source of all your problems, you'll be easily tossed away and discarded. All I can say is I hope that you find your humanity before inhumanity finds you. And if you are unhappy with what's been happening, but you've been too afraid to do something, I hope that you will find your courage and stand up and fight. There will come a day when we get past this, and you don't want to be one of the ones that lives in regret that you did nothing while people around you were harmed. 2 days from now we march, Saturday, April 5th. I hope you'll join us. What happens next in our country is entirely up to us.
On April 5th, there's supposed to be some peaceful protest all across the nation, and it is time for white people to stand up and speak out, especially if you're a white straight male. It is our time to stand up for the people who have been oppressed and marginalized by this country. I really want us to think about this. Anytime that there's a fight for basic human rights in this country, it's always led by marginalized groups, whether it's the black community, whether it's women, whether it's the LGBTQIA plus community. When are white men going to stand up for basic human rights in this country? When are white men going to start calling out other white men who love to exploit people in this country? So if you're not already in the game, get in the game, lace up your boots. Black people need some rest and reparations. It's time for us to fight. These white men who are in power, all they do is exploit the red pill masculinity bullcrap. They know their audience. They know they're not very smart. They know they're poorly educated. They know they have that pound on my chest, I'm a tough guy type of mentality, but don't have a whole lot to think with. They know that the people who follow them buy into the get-rich scheme type of things. They buy into the self-help type of BS in hopes that one day they can exploit other people. But it is time for us to stand up and fight. Get loud. Use your privilege for good. We have an administration that talks about meritocracy while their DUI hire is putting national secrets in a Signal group chat. And when you elect a circus, expect to put a tent over the show.
Y'all, if I talk to one more person who tells me that something going on in the world that I already heard about 7 days ago, and they're just now finding out about it because they decided to pay attention or it came up on their feed because they're not political, I'll fucking lose my shit. By the time that you come to me telling me that something happened that you saw on mainstream media, guess what? It's too late to do something about the next impending thing that is happening now. And if you're one of those people that likes to bitch about everything that's going on in the state of the world, but you don't want to go to a protest, I better not hear shit fly out of your mouth. Go to a damn protest. What are you doing? If you're not POC, and if you don't have a reason not to go, like a good, valid reason, go to the fucking April 5th protest. What are you doing? Do you think this is a joke? The vast majority of people who I know personally who are completely inequipped to deal with what is coming is shocking. It's shocking. You're all out here really believing we can trust our government, that we are not headed into full-fledged dictatorship. We're already there. We're already in a fascist state. Firing federal workers, taking the Constitution off of the White House website, removing Black and Indigenous historical figures from military websites because they're DEI. You do realize that World War II was won on Navajo coding, right? Yeah, they removed that. I went to get name change on my house the other day because it just so happened that I still had my married name when I bought it. And the lawyer, nice enough dude, got me taken care of real quick, says, oh, I don't think your ex could have any claim to the house. I don't think legally any of that would be viable. Do you know that we are not practicing due process for citizens who are being transported to El Salvador, to concentration camps? Do you know that they are trying to take away women's right to vote based on what their last name is? I just feel like you guys aren't getting it. Okay? And when that time comes that you do get it, please do not come to me for help because I've been trying to tell y'all. We've been trying to tell y'all. All y'all making fun of millennials and leftists out here saying we're consumed by politics. No, we're just like aware of what's going on.
The largest anti-Trump protest of this year is scheduled for this Saturday, April 5th.
Well, thanks, Erin, but I was already planning to attend the Hands Off rally this weekend in Salt Lake City at the Utah State Capitol at noon, April 5th. This is the Hands Off rally to ensure that Trump knows we do not support these outrageous claims he is making that he's going to make Canada a 51st state, that he's going to violently invade Greenland. And these tariffs are absolutely ludicrous. Hands off, Trump. I'll be there on Saturday to ensure that my voice is heard.
Okay, so this is going to sound a bit corny, but that's okay. I'll take corny over hatred any day of the week. So this is about this Saturday, April 5th, and the rallies taking place in the United States. If you want to participate, handsoff2025.com. But if you cannot, you can also join us. And this is the part that may sound a little corny, but I promise you, this works. If you can't join us at some point during the day, if you can do it at 1 Central, that'd be good because that's kind of when all these rallies are taking place. But if not, it doesn't matter. Sometime in that 24-hour period on April 5th, take 1 minute. 1 minute to stop whatever you're doing. Set the timer on your phone for a minute. Put your hand over your heart and just connect with us. Connect with us in love and unity. And if you can, say out loud, I choose love. I choose love. Those words I choose are powerful. You're taking your power back, you're owning your own sovereignty, and you're choosing love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. I will believe that till the day I die, and it's the one thing that can overcome hatred, and that's what we're trying to do. I'm not a scientist, but I believe in science, and the scientists tell us they have computers that measure the energy of the planet, and when a huge event is taking place, They can see the change in the energy on the planet. So imagine what we can do if in that 24 hours on April 5th, those of us who choose love and unity take 1 minute to focus on that, put it on the planet. Those of us out there doing the physical, connecting with the spiritual and emotional, those of us who can't be out there, imagine the energy and the power in that. Martin Luther King Jr. said it, hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Let's choose love. Join us.
If you're a person of color and you think that you're going to sit out on this massive protest that's happening on April 5th, that's a good idea. Yeah, stay home, stay safe. We all know that the powers that be love a scapegoat, and historically speaking, that's been y'all. So stay home, stay safe. We got you. However, if you have a skin tone like mine, if you are fucking fluorescent, okay, in any capacity, I need your asses to get out of your house on the 5th and do what needs to be done. You need to be loud, you need to be proud, peaceful, and you need to go make some noise at whatever major city is closest to you. Okay? Okay. Yeah, there's not going to be an out for you. You have to be out there.
April 5th, I have some thoughts, and it's probably not the thought that you want to hear, but I'm going to ask you to listen to it anyways. A lot of what I see from white people is they feel upset because black and brown people are not wanting to go to the protest. And from what I see, the white people are really saying that them choosing to do so is divisive. Here's the thing, is that it's not actually divisive. What you're feeling is fear. And it's that fear that on April 5th, you will not have the bodies of black and brown people to lay their lives down on the front line for you. You're not going to have black and brown bodies to hide behind. You are being asked to step up. As white people, we have not only been conditioned, but we have gotten so used to having black and brown people fight for our freedoms that we have become entitled to it and we expect it. They are always the ones on the front line. We're usually behind them. And that entitlement is something that we really need to unlearn. We need to learn how to stand up, not just for our rights, but for theirs as well. Because our lives really aren't on the line. You know, if you look at past protests that have happened, it's really black and brown people who are the ones who are arrested, who are the ones who are more likely to be unalived. They are way more aggressive towards them than they are to white people. Even in the media, they make it all about black and brown people and how destructive and aggressive they are, instead of the fact that they are just fighting for the basic human rights for everybody. And this entitlement, this fear, has become ingrained inside of our white bodies, inside of our nervous systems, and inside of our energetic systems. And it is our duty to unlearn it, because really, we should be the ones shielding them, because we're not in the line of danger as much as they are. And the last thing I'll leave with you is that systemic oppression is a white people problem, because our ancestors are the ones who created this mess, and our white butts are the ones who continue to uphold it, which means it is our mess to undo.
I promised my brother that I would do this video, and it is that important. I believe it's that important, and that's why I also want to do this video. This is for my white friends, and please listen closely and listen to the end. White people, we need you to talk. This Friday, April the 5th, there's a nationwide protest happening called Hands Off. And I'm going to tell you exactly why you need to be there. This protest is different. It's not like other rallies. It's a moment where white people are being called to show up and lead. Because minority communities, we can't do this alone anymore. Here's the truth. Every time a black, brown, indigenous, or anyone who's not white protest, they take a risk of everything. they get followed, they get arrested, they lose their jobs, they are targeted by the police and labeled as threats. Their rights are stripped, while white silence stays safe. Let me say this clearly. Your privilege gives you power in these moments. And if you truly believe in injustice, you gotta use that power. You don't get to not be a racist and sit at home while other people risk their lives for freedom. April 5th is your chance to do something real, to march, to speak, to stand in the gap, not as a savior, but as a shield. This country is going backwards. Civil rights are under attack. Black history is being erased all over the internet, all over our government. Palestinian voices are being silenced. And people are being locked up for protesting injustice. But you, white folks, you're not being targeted the same way. And that is why you need to go. Because you can. And if you don't show up now, when will you? This isn't about guilt. It's about guts. It's about solidarity. And it's about showing the world that you're not okay with hate, racism, and fascism growing on American soil. In the description of this video, I'm going to be listing protest locations in Texas, like San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and more. So you can find one near you. So you can show up this Friday, hold a sign, stand next to people who can't afford to be there. Use your body to block injustice. Use your voice to amplify the unheard. And use your privilege to protect those without it. Because silence is betrayal. And we've had enough of that. Thank you for listening to the video, and I hope that you show up.
This is a message specifically for white people, so if you're not white, you can keep scrolling. I better see your asses out there protesting on Saturday, April 5th. Do you hear me? I better see you out there.
I have two messages for you all today. One is for my white followers, and one is for my black brothers and sister followers. First, white followers. White woman boomer here. All of my white followers, you all have to know right now how important it is for your skin and your voice to be speaking up and against the racism in this country, to speak up and against the hatred in this country. If it makes you uncomfortable to be the voice for the people that are having their existence whitewashed away, it's time that you get out from underneath your uncomfortable skin and really start speaking up for our brothers and sisters of color. Now for my black brothers and sisters out there, I feel you, I see you, I hear you, and I know how horrific this reality is for all of you. I get it. I will be your voice. This white boomer here, I will be your voice. I am so freaking angry today that I can't even contain myself right now. So let's go back to my white followers. What can you do? Speak up. be out there on April 5th. We can no longer keep saying, be kind, be nice. Our presence as white-skinned Americans, we need to stand united for our black brothers and sisters, our Latino community, all of our brothers and sisters of color, because they are all under attack. Okay, for all my brothers and sisters of color out there, take a deep breath. Stand this one out. I don't want to see black people out on April 5th. And you know what I'm talking about. You barbecue with your family. You go to a movie. You do some household chores. Take a self-care day. Do nothing. Get out in nature. But do not join us white people in the protest against this fascist, racist regime. There's my rant. This crap has got to stop. It stops when all the white people get our shit together and we band together for the sake of the rest of this country. Unconscionable what is happening out there. Much love to you all. Take a deep breath, stay well, and stay safe.
I have a message out there for all you black people. I need you to stay away. No, seriously, on April 5th, do not go to DC. It is a trap. Let us handle it. We fucked up here. Black women especially, y'all came out and showed out for Kamala Harris. Black men, y'all need to come to Jesus meeting, but please still don't go to the Capitol on April 5th.
People are going to disagree with me, but at this point, I don't think marching in the streets is the most effective form of making change anymore. I've been going to protests for more than a decade, and I think it is effective at raising awareness. I think it can be effective in changing how businesses operate. I think that it can be good for making connections, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that it doesn't really influence politics. They don't care. If you do go on the 5th, I think one of the most useful things you can do is make connections for safely participating in direct actions in the future. But honestly, if you're not white, I don't think it's safe for you to go at all under this administration. We gotta start acting like this is fascism before it's too late. We gotta keep being creative about finding ways to halt the system. And at this point, I don't think protest or voting is gonna get us there. Not at this stage in the game. Stay safe, but never stop fighting for people more marginalized than you. When trans people aren't safe, when immigrants aren't safe, when disabled people aren't safe, you're not safe. Some people have suggested this might be an opportunity for them to invoke martial law. It might just be an opportunity for them to snatch people off the street. And as we can see at our borders, as we can see with immigrants, don't expect due process for any of this. If you do go on the 5th, please practice good OPSEC. Cover your face, cover your hair, cover your tattoos. Don't wear distinguishable clothing. Wear good running shoes so you can get away. And honestly, don't bring your phone. It's not a good idea. They have the tech to essentially hack your phone. They can see your contacts. They can see if you've, expressed any anti-Trump sentiments or anything like that. So it's probably best to just leave it at home. If you have to bring it, definitely turn off face unlock or any of the thumbprint, biometrics, anything, and replace it with a 6-digit PIN. And please don't record people's faces unless you're documenting police violence. Bring ear protection, bring a unopened Sport Top water bottle so that you can flush pepper spray from your eyes or someone else's eyes. Don't go alone. Bring a protest buddy so that you can look out for each other or know if someone gets nabbed. And even if you're white, even if you're a citizen, don't expect due process at this point. Get creative. Devote yourself to this. Take care of each other. Much love.
Intelligence update for April 5th. Anyone who has white privilege, go ahead, bring your phone and fucking live stream the shit out of it. Make sure to have a YouTube account logged in on your phone so you can go live from YouTube. It may be a good idea to bring a pair of goggles to put in your pocket. Make sure to film the provocateurs who are surely to show up. Stay calm, make sure not to let your emotions take hold of you, and travel in packs. I recommend memorizing the phone number of somebody who's not going to be there that you trust. Wear bright colors if you can. Ride share if you can afford it. If you're not going to live stream, be careful leaving your phone in your car if it's going to be really hot. Wear some warm layers in case your stay gets extended.
Who chose April 5th as the hands-off protest day? Genuinely. Why April 5th? Because as far as I know, we have known for the last 90 days that April 5th would be the day that TikTok goes dark. And even if it happens like last time where it goes dark for a day, that means April 5th, it will be dark. Why would you choose a day during a media blackout, essentially? That seems dangerous. And it's especially scary to me because of what we've seen with ICE just picking up random people who have a different tone than me. And a lot of the time, they're citing those people being at protests as the reason as to why they lost their right to be here without due process. So what better perfect time to do that en masse than April 5th? Like, I'm not trying to put a wrench in the protest or anything like that, but I'm just genuinely wondering who chose April 5th and why. Again, we have known for 90 days that April 5th would be the day that TikTok goes dark. Why April 5th? Why? Why not next week? Why not last weekend? Why April 5th of all days? If you are of a different shade or have like a green card or on a student visa or something like that, please be very, very careful. Like, very careful.
There will be a protest against Trump across the U.S., and I need white people to show up for this protest, because for some of us, especially people of color, it's no longer safe to protest. A 21-year-old at Columbia University was recently targeted by ICE because she attended some pro-Palestinian protests. Despite having a 3.99 GPA and committing no crime, and she was a valedictorian, and a green card holder who has been in the USA since she was 7 years old, she was still targeted by ICE and she went into hiding. But good news, she sued Trump and won a restraining order against the government and ICE from detaining her and deporting her. Her case question will be important for all of us. If the government can target immigrants or citizens alike for their political view and violate free speech, so each of us will protest in our own way, and for white people, you have the opportunity to show up for those who can't protest. Because of the trauma of being targeted by ICE, she is still in hiding. People are in hiding because they attended protests.
So tomorrow, Saturday, April 5th, it's supposed to be you Democrats fucking call to arms, huh? You coming through the streets and rising up, are you? Let me tell you something a little bit there, Buttercup. This time it's not working out for you. 'Cause I'm going to tell you, people like me, we're going out there and we're meeting you on the street. There's not going to be any day of violence. You want to protest, that's fine. The minute you break out into violence and the cops are sitting there wanting to protect you, it's not happening this way this time, especially here in Florida. You come down here in Florida and you fuck around, you're going to fucking find out. So whatever the fuck you guys are planning here, I would suggest you pick up your fucking bootstraps and get the fuck out of here and take that shit somewhere else. This is not no warning. This is not no threat. This is fucking reality, children, Democrats. Your temper tantrum that you're planning is not going to go the way you're thinking it's going to plan. You're not going to spark a major conflict. You're not going to send the United States into turmoil like you're hoping for. What you're going to do is you're going to end up getting fucked up and arrested. That's what's going to end up fucking happening.
On April 5th, hundreds and thousands of people in America are going to rise up against Donald Trump. It will be the biggest day of national protest against Trump since he took office. And I'm talking about every single inch of the nation will be rising up. It's not organized by the Democrats or the Democratic establishment. This is people volunteering to put on protests in their area and just going to do it. It's people organized. All the information about April 5 and the movement is going to be on handsoff2025.com. Be able to find the closest protest near you on the
Pretty sure our country is more divided now than it ever was even during the Civil War. And what's happening April 5th is just fucking ridiculous. There are people that are organizing these events for April 5th that are like, oh, well, make sure you bring a Sharpie so that you can write down phone numbers on your arms so that if you get arrested, when you get arrested, you have phone numbers written down here. Make sure that the people that you're hanging out with or protesting with have bail bonds set up and ready for them because we plan on getting arrested. They are literally looking for violence. And then there are rumors, these are rumors, that there are government, let's call them psychops, that are being placed in all these spots that they're protesting that are going to be like egging them on more and more and more. And they should be wearing certain type of shoes, certain color, bright color, something like that. And they're going to be causing like havoc even more, just like during the BLM movements where there were conveniently bricks, piles and piles of bricks in all of the cities where it was like, oh, okay, well, there's bricks, we can start throwing them at windows. So this is the shit that might go down on Saturday. These people are crazy, and there's government people that are getting involved and funding this and just basically adding fuel to the fire to make them angrier so that they start causing more chaos. So stay home April 5th. These people are fucking nuts. Who knows what's going to happen? You can see they have on their website like a map of like where all of their little protests and meetups are going. They're planning to be chaotic, and they are falling right for the government trap of like the Democrats are in there saying like, oh, let's start chaos for them and get them angrier. So shit might go down. Look at the map, see if there's any towns near you where there's protests like this going on, and just avoid those areas right now because it's gonna be fucking stupid.
Lisa had already warned us. Something terrible is going to happen in the United States on April 5th, 2025. Don't forget that I can only protect my subscribers who commented their first name. In a mysterious episode of The Simpsons, Lisa appears frozen in front of a screen. A single date appears on the screen, April 5th, 2025. That's when chaos erupts in the city. The lights go out. The sentence, balance unavailable, appears on bank screens. And a chilling phrase, flee the United States immediately, appears on television. Simple coincidence or terrifying prediction? Subscribe and comment on United States to find out more.
I'm just gonna fucking say it, and I'm gonna keep this real fucking short. Democrats, after all the damage and all the destruction and the burning of all this shit you've been doing up until even now, you can fucking kiss our asses about a 3-hour riot that happened 5 years ago. Fuck you. You guys are way worse.
The Department of fucking Common Sense had on.
Oh, I gotta stop
Like,
the
show
video
our
there
own.
before I get a violation, but I'm gonna tag him below so you can watch the whole video. I'm so for this right here. This is a hands-off protest or something, riot. I'm not sure what it really is or why they're protesting. I guess they don't like Elon Musk finding fraud. They prefer fraud in the system, so they have funding. That's where all the fraud goes, is to fund the ridiculous programs. But I'm following this guy, which you should do the same as well, so we can keep up with what goes on April 5th when he shows up. He said he's coming with his camera and his MAGA hat. And I'm just going to say he's going to experience the most hateful people out there when he shows up. And he's going to expose it for everybody to see. And we're going to see who really is the hateful party out there. Because this man's going to get nothing but hate from the liberal party. Being a black man wearing a MAGA hat. They cannot comprehend the fact somebody can be that way. I love it. Give this man a follow, and let's see what happens, yo. Just a couple more days away.
Did you hear what's happening on April 5th? Yeah. Just found out too. Go Google it. It's April 5th, 2025.
I'll be at home putting up my new flag.
Did you hear what's happening on April 5th? Well, Google it, because I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing until then, and you should too.
Einstein said, you can't solve the problem with the same consciousness or stories or understanding from which the problem was created. That is so true in life, but especially in the political system.
It'll be easier to resist today than it will be next month. And it will be easier to resist next month than it will be 6 months from now, if things continue to go in the direction they appear to be going in. History has taught us that the longer fascism is allowed to expand freely, the harder it is to confront. So if you're waiting for the right moment to get involved, now is the time. I'd rather you not act out of fear, but if you must, act out of the fear of what will happen if you don't speak up, not out of the fear of what will happen if you do. A lot of you feel in your gut that what happened to Mahmoud Khalil and what's happening on campuses and in detention centers across the U.S. is a sign of things to come. Listen to that. If this is your wake-up call, welcome to the movement. Start to connect with local organizers and engage and invest in your community and build offline connections that aren't reliant on Meta, Google, and so on. Once you get plugged in, explore ways that your specific skill set, passions, and expertise can support the movement. All of this will make us more effective, safer, and more resilient as we face what's ahead. Speak up, get connected, and give what you can. If any of you have any other suggestions, please put them in the comments.
Well, it's finally happening. I have individuals who are MAGAs that I don't communicate with, but my family members that do, have now found out that these loyalists to Donald Trump, these individuals who have supported him since day one, starting back in like 2015 or so, have all admitted how wrong they are, how this is not how things are supposed to go, that this is not what he promised. Do you know why all of these individuals, white, boomers, Gen Xers that are older, that support this man, are finally realizing because it is affecting them personally? It's a personal thing now. This is this disconnect that we have in this age gap that are cult Trump supporters, is unless something happens to them, they don't give a crap about anything else. This is this level of narcissism that is rampant in the white boomer world, white boomer here, who calls out the boomer bullshit. So all of you get to start seeing firsthand what I have been preaching out there, screaming into the wind. You can't trust these emotionally unavailable, lack of logic and pragmatic thinking, and zero critical skills boomers and Gen Xers, because that's just not the way they were raised. They watch Fox News as though it's the legitimate news source. And we all know that Fox is a tabloid TV. So now we're seeing the stock market go crazy, and people are livid, rightfully so. But once again, you all are now being subjected to the realities of what narcissistic abuse is all about. This man is a malignant narcissist, and we've been screaming that for years. And it only takes you to get hurt financially, which is the goal. It's a goal of narcissists to control you so much, to control your mind, your emotions, your feelings, and now your finances. You're losing jobs. You're going to lose your house because you lost your job. You just lost a shitload of money in the stock market. Bing, bang, boom. Welcome to the Trump's narcissist agenda. And it's all led from, you got it, Putin and his oligarchs who have him by his cojones. Yeah, talk to your Mexican immigrant friends what cojones is. We're all seeing the repercussions. We've all been warning all of you MAGAs out there. This was destined to happen with this man. And the stock market's not done tumbling. It's not. We are looking at numbers that will be worse than the Great Depression. So I propose that all of you Republicans and MAGAs out there that are having a change of heart, come join us all on April 5th as we protest this son of a bitch and this fascist regime and try to make some good, positive changes for our country and our fellow Americans, because we are all in this together. And you remember when the Titanic shit happened and that boat sank? Is that what you want? Because that's where we're hitting. And that iceberg is much bigger than what the Titanic hit. Trust me on this one. We are all in a world of hurt with this regime. Have a good day.
I need you to watch this video until the end, and then I need you to share it. And I would like it if you would follow me, comment, share, etc. This is what these people think of you. This is how they feel about you. Watch this.
Those are not real jobs producing federal revenue. Federal employees do not deserve their jobs. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks.
HHS, I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
Probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude,
wow. Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown. You probably deserved it.
Go. Is the president starting to think about maybe some of those veterans who worked for the federal government and maybe what the administration can do to at least help salvage their lives?
Well, as you know, we care about veterans tremendously. I mean, that's something the president has always cared about. Anybody in blue, anybody that serves this country. But at the same time, we have taxpayer dollars. We have a fiscal responsibility to use taxpayer dollars to pay people that actually work. That doesn't mean that we forget our veterans by any means. We are going to care for them in the right way, but perhaps they're not fit to have a job at this moment or not willing to come to work. And we can't, I wouldn't take money from you and pay somebody and say, sorry, they're not going to come to work. It's just not acceptable.
So obviously you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take my word for it. You can listen to their words. Those are their words telling you they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care whether you have a job. They don't care whether you can pay your bills, whether you can keep a roof over yours and your family's heads, whether you can feed your kids, whether your kids have health care, whether your kids can go to college. They don't care whether you live or die. And if you think the Republican Party cares about you, you're a dumb motherfucker. Now, if you're intelligent enough to know they don't give a fuck about you, and they are taking this country apart, one piece at a time, to topple democracy. That is the plan. It's not hyperbole. It's very easy to prove. They're not even hiding it. This is the takedown of the oldest democracy on earth. That's what it is. If you don't understand it, that's not my fault. The fact that you don't understand it doesn't make it less true. Okay? If you don't get it, or you don't believe it, or you're not intellectually honest enough to admit it, or prepared to admit it, that doesn't make it less true. That is what's happening. It is the takedown of American democracy, period. And the people at the root of it, the people who wrote the policy that is making federal employees lose their jobs, a third of which are veterans, the people who wrote the policy that are taking benefits away from veterans, that are defunding the Veteran Suicide Hotline, that are defunding veteran cancer research, that are going to take your elderly parents' Social Security, that are going to scrap Medicaid. The people who are writing those policies are called the Heritage Foundation, and they work directly for Viktor Orban, who works directly for Russia. And if you don't know that or understand that, again, it doesn't make it less true. It's a fact whether you want to believe it or not. And I don't give a shit if you believe it or not. It won't change that it's true. So on Saturday, April 5th, you can meet us there, you can gather outside, and you can make your voices heard. We need thousands of people, not dozens and not hundreds. We need thousands of people to surround that fucking building. Please do that with us. Thank you.
We are the flag! We are the flag!